Welcome back to the Memphis Tech Pharaohs Team Builder Dynasty here in College Football 26. We are through 3 games of the season, and we are flying high on offense. We have the number 6 points per game scored on offense. Memphis Tech averaging 45.7 per game. We also number 14 on yards per game at 469 yards per game. So the offense is doing great. Defense, on the other hand, we are the 24th worst team in points allowed per game. We are 21st worst team in yards allowed per game. And we are the worst pass defense as far as yards per game, giving up 422 yards through the air every single game. And you can see we've only given up 26 rushing yards the whole season for an average of 8.7 per game. We do have 10 sacks, which is a pretty good amount. But yeah, we've been torched through the air. There's no point in running the ball if we're just going to shut them down and force them to throw every down. That's really going to put a lot of pressure on our secondary, which needs a lot of help, needs speed, needs better coverages. And so that's what we're going to focus on in the recruiting and transfer portal. I am going to look for 2 lockdown corners in the portal next year, this upcoming offseason, and see if we can get some studs in here. On defense, I don't have a ton of guys on our board because we need so many wide receivers and running backs. We do have this 4-star safety that I'm going after. 3 stars, just a backup option. Corner, I added 3 new corners. I got rid of the guys we had on board and found 3 guys that were actually in their top 10s, first, and second. And they're all field archetypes, which seems to be the best cornerback archetype. They have much better man-to-man and zone together. So we're going to try and improve that way as well as through the portal. And we have a few mics. We just need some depth over here. Same thing with Will. And mostly, though, we're going after offensive line. Got a 4-star up there. Got a bunch of 3 stars. And then again, obviously, all of these wide receivers and all of these running backs because we need to backfill. We've got a lot of guys leaving. And then we have a couple of really good dual threat 3-star guys that are absolute studs, especially Momoa. His playing time down in the right is A+. So that's where we sit on the recruiting. A little quick update there. I want to let you know we replaced those corners and why we are struggling so bad on defense. It's just nobody runs the ball against us because they can torch us for so many yards. And we're also ahead in these games, and they have to throw to catch up. So anyway, that's the storyline going forward. Got to improve this defense somehow. Made a couple of changes in our depth charts. Hopefully that will help us. We're just going to have to get more pressure. We're going to give up some big plays because I need to attack the quarterback and don't give them enough time to just sit there and pick us apart until we get better guys in coverage. So last time you saw us, we were beating Arkansas State 41-31 and pounding Sam Houston 54-33. And now we have UNLV, Delaware, and Middle Tennessee State coming up. So let's hop into these games. And like I said, I want to get through this season quickly, get to the offseason, get some more recruits in, get some more transfers, and get this team rolling. So let's get in, get some games played right now. And I wanted to hop in here before we get to some gameplay. I had an issue with my game sound not recording. You're going to get 3 games in this episode, but the 3rd game is the only one that we have actual gameplay sound from. So we're going to cut up these first 2 games into highlights, selected highlights. We're not going to show you a ton of action from each one. And then we'll get into the 3rd game that actually has real gameplay. So I apologize for that up front. But sometimes things happen when you're recording and you don't catch it until you're done recording. And in this case, it happened after I was done with the first 2 games. So without further ado, let's get into these highlights and then some real gameplay at the end. And our first highlight game here is against the UNLV Rebels as we win this game pretty handily, 37-14. You can see it was 21-7 at half, and we continued in the second half. Defense showed up strong, and this is our first score of the game. 3rd down and 5. Frost drifts back. It's going to hit Shetron on the drag, and no one is going to catch him. He blows through their secondary, goes 65 yards to the house, and we're up 7-0. Gotta love having that speed on those drag routes, those crossers. And you can see he had a huge advantage there. He was a good 4 yards in front of him. And once he turned upfield, no one was catching him. That's why we brought him in. On defense, though, get a sack right here. Huge sack. Bubba Van Claiborne coming in on the blitz off the edge. We had several sacks in this game, but Bubba made short work of that drive right there. Check out this replay. He just goes steaming in, untouched, and they had no chance whatsoever. And then I want to show you this highlight reel play. 4th and 8. They're punting here in the first quarter. Big booming kick down the numbers. Shetron's got it at the 40. Up the sideline, cuts through the crowd, breaks free, and he's just got to beat the punter. Uses his blockers well, and he goes 59 yards to the house on the punt return. Another reason why he is such a dangerous weapon for this team, as he takes one to the house. Our first kick return touchdown of the year. And then UNLV finally gets on the board here late in the second quarter. Crosser pass that drag across the middle. Tayshawn Lyons, 3-yard touchdown pass from Chase Royer. And gets the Rebels on the board. They're now down 14-7. See, they use the same route that we did with Shetron. Nobody's remotely close to him on that play. And then we respond, man in motion. Frost drops, looks over the middle, hits Page on the drag, and he is off to the races as well, down the sideline, and no one's catching him either. This game was nothing but big plays after big plays after big plays all day long. And Scooter Page wanted to get on that long-range touchdown list as well. You got speed in the slot on those drags. If they put a safety or a linebacker on them, it's a total mismatch, and that's why we run the air raid, guys. And back to the defense here. We're up 24-7 in the third quarter. Play action, rolling out, tossing, and Blanks with the jump-up catch. Snags it for his third pick of the season, leads the team. Defense showed up big in this game. Late in the third quarter now, up 24-7. Defense still on its A game here as Garland comes around the end and gets the sack, the strip sack, but their offensive lineman jumped on the ball, so they kept possession, but Kobe Garland got in on the sack fun as he goes around the tackle, knocks the ball loose. And not to be outdone, Spencer Strickland, inside run right into the end zone. It's going to make it 31-7. Can't give all those touchdowns to Tyson. Spencer likes to celebrate too. And then we get another defensive play here. Dropping back, stepping up, looking, pressure, and combined sack there. Joshua Townsend and Javon Finley get a half sack each. That was a great covered sack on that play. And then at the very end of the game, it's 37-7. They get this go ball, just a jump ball, and he out jumps our DB and goes to the house. Tayshawn Lyons, his second of the day, 74 yards. But in the end, Memphis Tech was just too much as we put up 37 points. The defense only allows 14. I thought we were going to get through this game only allowing 7, but this jump ball, he just got mossed, and there was no safety help on the play, and we gave up a big play at the end. But like I said, it doesn't matter. Get the big win, and the 14 points allowed on defense is the biggest thing I want to focus on. Yeah, we had a bunch of big plays. Yeah, Shetron had a long touchdown reception and a long punt return, but we said the defense needed to step up, and they did in this game. And you can see the stat-wise, first downs are pretty even. We allowed 334 total yards for them to our 470. We ran for 142 to their 16. They got the help of that last big play to put them over 300 yards. They were only 4 of 14 on third down. We weren't much better, but a bunch of penalties in the game affected both teams, and they actually had the time of possession advantage. But if you look through our player stats, 27-38, 328, 2 touchdowns and a pick for Frost. Tyson, 17 carries for 134. Strickland had the lone rushing touchdown. Receiving side, Shetron, 11 catches for 155 and that long touchdown. Page, 6 for 118 and that long touchdown. Blocking, no sacks allowed again. Defensively, 13 tackles by Bubba Van Claiborne, plus 4 TFLs. We had a ton of TFLs. Look at all those TFLs. My goodness. Sack-wise, we had 5 sacks in that game. 4 sacks. Again, I can't add 4 sacks and 1 pick. 1 forced fumble. That was a strip sack by Garland. And look at all those passes that were deflected. Our secondary showed up, and then Talon Shetron, that 59-yard punt return. That's why we put him back there. Guy's just an amazing weapon. And we showed up in all facets today and got a big win, 37-14. What an absolutely great performance by our defense and an individual performance by Talon Shetron in that 37-14 win. And very happy with how our defense played, although we did give up that deep touchdown at the very end. I was hoping to get out of there with only giving up 7 points, but we'll take the dub and the improvement on defense. That's what we're looking for as we move through this season. Let's advance this week and see what happens with our recruiting. And Bubba, 8 tackles, 5 assists, and 4 TFLs, gets Conference USA Defensive Player of the Week. And still number 1 on these quarterbacks, number 1 on these running backs. Every one of them. And we lost the playing style deal breaker there. We have a C+ now, so we gotta just keep throwing the ball. Got way up on his, he's a 4-star. So all these deal breakers are going away on the offensive side. Just got to keep throwing and keep throwing, right? Offensive line guys are in good shape across the board. Defensively, yep, number 1 there. Number 1 there. Still number 1 there. So we're in great shape all the way up and down the board. We just need more points. So let's, we have 165. So let's actually put 25 on him. I want to get these guys out of the way. 25 on him. Yep. Put 25 on him. And let's drop all the way down to defense. There's that 4-star edge. There we go. We're going to give him 50. And this 4-star Mike, we're not in his. So let's go ahead and throw off 40 points on him. All right. Corners, good shape. All 3, yeah. So there we go. Try and get some more of these defensive players moved up, not spend so much time at the top of the list with the offensive guys. In fact, we're going to take his 50 points off since we're so far up. And let's go back down here. Which guys are these? This is 84, 87, 85. Yeah, let's go to Bull. Yep. Let's throw 25 on him. Which one was he? 84 speed. He's even on his man and zone. Let's throw Aguilar 25 as well. And let's throw him 25 as well. All right. That's it on recruiting. And now we get our first visit to Delaware. Didn't play them last year, and you can see we blew them out 44-13. This game was played in a steady drizzle, so it was a little slow going at the beginning. So you only had 3 points in the first quarter, and then we got our offense rolling, and we both got excited with a bunch of scores in the fourth quarter, but it was pretty much in our pocket the entire way as the defense did a great job. Thought we were going to get a shutout at one point, but 13 points is a vast improvement over what we've been doing all season. So let's hop in here and check out some of these highlights. And we were driving in the first quarter until Bryce Frost tossed this one over the middle in the red zone. They get a pick. Nate Spack, the free safety, picked it off. Frost got hit as he threw it, and the ball sailed on him. And so that shut down our first drive. But was one of the few highlights that the Blue Hens fans could cheer about in the first quarter. Again, Nate Spack with a pick. But we would finally get on the scoreboard later in the half. Ian Badejo with a 26-yard field goal makes it 3-0 Pharaohs. Kind of going back and forth between him and York, the punter, as far as who's doing the kicking. And then the defense showed up here, 3rd and 4 for them in the second quarter. Good secondary coverage, and Deshaun Hand comes up the middle late and gets the sack. Again, that was a coverage sack. He had no one to throw the ball to, and Weeks just overpowers the center finally, and the quarterback had nowhere to go, ending that drive. And after that punt, we would march down the field, and Keontae Tyson, getting out to the edge, cuts it back inside, gets the block there at the end, and gets in the end zone for the first touchdown of the game, 5-yard touchdown run. So we've seen that a ton this season, Keontae doing it all. And then after they would punt, we would go on a 2-minute drive here, 2-minute drill drive, and then a little 1-yard, little flare outside pass there. Javion Foreman with the touchdown. That gets us up 17-0 as we went to the half. And in the second half, we would get the ball, march down the field. Frost looking, throwing out in the flat to Keontae Tyson. Loving that spot of the field. And that gets us up 24-0. Offense is rolling here in the rain, like I said. And then into the fourth quarter, the defense shows up again. Great coverage downfield, and Townsend breaks loose late and gets in there and gets the sack. Our coverage team, major league improvements in this episode. And Joshua Townsend got that spin off the tackle, and the quarterback had absolutely no chance. But later in that same drive, they would recover, march down the field, 2nd and 2. RPO pass out to the flat and into the end zone, and a touchdown was Jakari Kelly, their first touchdown of the game. Blake Brown with the pass. They would miss the 2-point try, so we would end up a 24-6 lead at this point. See the replay here. Had one guy blocking 2 of us out there in the flat. Then we would go 7:43 left in the fourth quarter, up 24-6. Frost drops, looks, throws late, and gets picked again, this time by their Mike, Gavin Mull. Second pick of the day by Frost. It's only the 2 bad things that we saw the entire day. And they would march down the field. Step up, toss into the corner of the end zone, and we get mossed again. Touchdown, 28 yards, Nick Tyree on a 4th and 10. Big conversion for them. They cut the game down to a 24-13 score. But we would rebound, closing in under 4 minutes now. Strickland busts to the outside. He gets a great seal block by the wide receiver, and he's off to the races and in for the 20-yard touchdown to make this 31-13. And then after a turnover on downs, we're marching down the field again. Frost out route here to Shetron, and he's in the end zone for the icing on the cake as we went up 38-13. Talon Shetron just been a difference maker for us this year. And then there's 1 second left in the game. I don't know why they didn't just throw a Hail Mary, but they decided to punt the ball to us. And watch what Talon Shetron does. At the 35, fake move, gets to the outside, gets some blocks, and he is gone to the races for his second punt return touchdown of this episode. 65 yards this time on the final play of the game. I was not trying to run up the score, but they punted, and we blocked well, and Shetron went to the house, and you can see 44-13 was the final. Another dominating win on both sides of the ball. See Tyson, 21 carries for 112 yards and 2 touchdowns. Once we got him going, the offense really took off. And let's get in here and take a look at these stats. We had 25 first downs to their 13, 405 total offense to their 257. They only had 38 yards rushing to our 176. We only threw for 229. They threw for 219. Look at that. They were 2 for 11 on 3rd down, 2 for 3 on 4th down. As I said, the defense showed up. No turnovers for them. We threw 2 picks and pretty close to time of possession. They had a lot of penalties. Let's look at the offensive stats here. Frost, 26-39, 229, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Tyson, 21 carries, 112 and 1. Strickland, 4 for 44 and 1. Receiving side, Shetron 9 for 105 and a touchdown. Tyson had a touchdown. Foreman had a touchdown. Blocking side again, no sacks because we throw the ball so quick. Defensively, Terrell Pace, our corner, 13 tackles to lead the team. 9 for Bubba, 8 for Blanks. Look at all these TFLs. We had 2 sacks, no picks, and another absolutely stellar performance. And you see the punt return, 64 yards to the house for Shetron. That's just so much fun. And that's going to be another dub for us as our defense. We asked them to get better this episode, and that's what they're doing. But we have a stretch coming up where we really need to lock it down. Middle Tennessee State, that's going to be another rivalry game. They're 3-2. Liberty's 4-0. Jacksonville State's 3-1. Florida International's 4-1. Louisiana's 3-1. It's our rematch from the Northlands Bowl last year. So really one easy game, maybe 2 the rest of the way. And let's get into this Middle Tennessee State game right now. And before we hop into that game, Taylon Shetron, Conference USA Offensive Player of the Week, 9 catches for 105 and a touchdown, plus that 64-yard punt return for a touchdown. And our third and final game of the episode, as I promised, we have game sound for this one. So hopefully this will be a much better experience for you as we travel to Middle Tennessee for our final rivalry game of the season. As you can see, they're running out in their black and silver. They look like the Raiders. And Memphis Tech going to wear our blue helmets, our blue pants, and our white jerseys. We are 5-0 in the season, 2-0 in the conference. They are 3-2 and 1-0 in conference. And we're going to hit the ball first, as here's the kickoff to the goal line. LJ Young's got it, looks to his right, cuts back to the middle, bounces off a guy, and gets all the way out to the 36. Thought he might have had a shot to go the distance there if he could get to the outside, down the sideline. You can see we beat them 27-17 last year. So they're looking to get revenge on us, and we're looking to stay undefeated. First play of the game, hand off to Tyson, big hole up the middle, gets almost to midfield, 11-yard gain, gets us out to the 47-yard line. Be 1st and 10 from there. Tyson goes in motion. Frost looks, throws, and it's broken up. Intended for Javian Foreman. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 10. Slot guy Gunderson goes in motion. Here's the snap, handoff. Tyson bounces outside, huge hole, cuts back to the middle, and gets dragged down at the 35 of Middle Tennessee. Another 1st down, 18-yard run. Play action, Frost drops, throws in the flat, caught Shetron up the sideline and breaks one tackle, can't break the other, but he gets another 18-yard gain for us right there. And after an incomplete pass, we'll bring up 2nd down and 10. Frost drops, looks, throws, Scott Foreman up the sideline and into the end zone for a touchdown. That didn't take very long, as we just steamrolled our way down, only had 2 incomplete passes. Everything else was more than 10 yards, 11 yards per play. We just marched down the field there. Take a 7-0 lead. You can see their quarterback, Roman Gagliano. See what his numbers are on the season. Only 5 touchdown passes. That's not good. Here they are, 1st and 10, their own 25 after a touchback on a kickoff. Here's a play action pass. Throw out to the flat, and yard loss on the play. Swing pass to Jaquale Middlebrook. Now bring up a 2nd and 11. Another play action, and here comes the rush, and he's down. Huge sack there. Jaquez Blanks puts them in a deep hole. Bring up 3rd and 18 as he comes off the edge on the blitz, and no one there to pick him up. See our defense playing a lot more aggressive these days. Figured out our coverage. Now we can blitz more. 3rd and 18. Gagliano looks, steps up, throws down the sideline, and it's broken up on the play. That'll bring up 4th down, and now they're going to punt. Shetron's going to take it at our own 45, trying to wiggle his way forward, gets knocked down on their half of midfield, and we're going to take over on their 48 after a holding call on 1st down. We're going to start 1st and 20. Here's the handoff to Tyson, hole up the middle, big gainer. It's going to pick up 13 on the play, bring up a nice 2nd down and 7, much better down in distance. Man in motion, that's Shetron. Frost drops, looks, got a crosser. That's Page. 35, knocked down not until he gets a first down, 12-yard gain. And I'll bring up a 1st and 10 here at the 32-yard line. Here's a handoff to Tyson, gets to the outside, cuts it back in. It's got a hole, back to the corner, and he's going to go the distance. Keontae Tyson, dude is unreal this year. 32 yards to the house. And we are up quick, 14-0. See the replay, gets outside, gets great blocking, cuts it back in, and those wide receivers did their job with the blocks and set him free. Now we're getting the ball back after a couple of punts. Here's Tyson, run up the middle, big gainer. Another first down to their 16-yard line. Frost drops now, and pressure in his face, and down he goes, and he gets sacked on the play. Felix Hickson with the sack. That'll bring up a 3rd and 17. Frost looks, dumps over the middle. Foreman's got it, cuts inside, and he's down at the 1. Big gainer there, 22 yards on the drag. That'll be a 1st and goal from the 1. Frost takes a snap, quick throw out in the flat, and that's Foreman. They let him finish this one off. 1-yard pass, and we are up 21-0 quick. Javian Foreman kind of been lost with all the passes going to Shetron, but there he goes. Big play there. 2 touchdowns already. And their first drive after the kickoff, and it's picked! Blanks has it. Ball was tipped, and it landed right in his hands. What a gift. And we're going to get the ball deep in their territory. Jaquez Blanks leads the team in interceptions. Look at that bounce. Look at it, like it bounced off one of our guys, went right to Blanks, and we would stall out and have to settle for the short field goal. And York, doink, off the upright and in. Little luck there, overcorrected, and we're up 24-0 here. Middle Tennessee doesn't know what's hit them. Now they got a 3rd and 10 on their 47. Man in motion, drops, Gagliano looks, great pocket, throws it over. He's got a man at the 30, 25, and down there. Had a crosser go wide open on the play, and no one picked him up. There's a quick RPO pass caught, and that's going to be a touchdown as Middle Tennessee bounces back on the slant. Beat our guy one-on-one as we brought some heat. 24 yards to Javonte Lawrence from Roman Gagliano. Here's another replay. Just beats him to the spot. No safety help on the play. And now it's 24-7. 2:24 and counting left here in the first half. Frost drops, looks, throws, got it. Foreman up the sideline, 20, 15, cuts it in, 10, 5, touchdown. There we go. Foreman with another touchdown. His 3rd of the half. That's got to be a career high. You can see he just runs away. You cannot have linebackers covering our wide receivers on these drags. They're never going to be there. And that's going to take us to the half as we lead 31-7 on that 38-yard touchdown pass to Foreman to wrap up the first half. You can see Keontae Tyson having a half himself, 13 carries for 138 yards and a touchdown. And both teams only combined for a field goal each in the second half. And we're going to get the dub in this rivalry game. This offense just came out on fire to start the game. Defense did a great job themselves. We only gave up 1 touchdown on the day. And we get this semi-easy win here, 34-10, as we just bum rushed them at the start. See 27 first downs for us to their 14, 503 yards to 258. They had 11 yards rushing to our 188. We had 315 passing, their 269. 8 of 14 on third for us, 6 of 13 for them. 1 interception by each team. And time of possession, we had a 5-minute lead. Let's check out the stats here. Frost, 25 of 39, 315, 3 touchdowns, all to Foreman, 1 interception. Rushing-wise, Tyson, 24 for 188 and 1. Receiving side, Shetron, 9 for 135. Foreman, 4 for 78 and 3. Great percentage there. Go to blocking, only 1 sack allowed. Defensively, 14 tackles by Terrell Price, our corner. 3 TFLs. Blanks, 10 tackles, 2 TFLs. Look at all these TFLs. Just a ton of tackles for loss. Sacks. Looks like we had 6 sacks on the day. picks, we had 1 by blanks. Forced fumbles, had 1. That's the ball game. And Terrell Pace with that 14 tackle, 1 sack, 3 TFL, 1 forced fumble day gets Conference USA Defensive Player of the Week. And see our schedule. Great start to the season, but we have a very tough matchup coming up right here next episode. Number 24, Liberty. We have to go there. 2 undefeated teams taking on each other. Should be a great matchup. And then we have a home game against Jacksonville State and 1 against Louisiana Tech. We'll have all 3 of those games in the episode. Then we'll wrap up with Kennesaw State, Florida International, and Louisiana for the last one. But yeah, this has been a phenomenal start to the season, and it's gotten even better since our defense finally decided to wake up and play coverage so we can get some pressure on the quarterback. But that's all I got for this week. Hey, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, comment, share it out, hit that notification bell so you know when the next episode goes live. And I will see you soon with the next Memphis Tech Pharaohs College Football 26 Team Builder Dynasty episode. You guys take care.